Now, usually when I sit down and do these reviews, guys, I have all the time in the world, but a little bit this morning, I'm a little bit pressed for time. I'm actually going to New Jersey in about an hour and a half, and usually I do an 18 to 20 minute video on Monday Night Raw, and I give you guys my full in-depth opinion and thoughts on what happened last night regarding the biggest storylines. But this week, I'm going to keep it to about 5 or 6 minutes. And really nothing out of the ordinary happened last night except for a few things that I'm going to talk about. Yeah, you had the main event. You had the intro of the show with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon making an 11-on-3 handicap match with all the guys a week prior that helped Daniel Bryan. So he's putting in which I didn't understand this. 11-on-3 against the Shield. Why is he stacking the odds against the Shield? Does he believe the Shield can defeat 11 guys? And the way the show transpired, I thought it was really going to be, at the end of the night, I thought it was going to be maybe a 6-on-3 the way the night was going. Rob Van Dam was in that match. Rob Van Dam got destroyed by Randy Orton. Randy Orton and his sadistic, animalistic rage. I love it. This is a new Randy Orton we're seeing. This is the Randy Orton of old. The Randy Orton last night that went up to Brie Bella and said, listen, your boyfriend is nothing. Your boyfriend is trash. You want a real man, you're looking at him, And then when I get done with Daniel Bryan, maybe you'll make that step up to a real man. I loved that segment. I laughed so loud. I laughed out loud when Randy Orton went up to Brie Bella. That's the Randy Orton we want to see. That's the Randy Orton that I love. That sadistic, asshole, douche, scumbag Randy Orton. That's the guy I want to see. And that's the guy Stephanie McMahon wants to see. He literally destroyed RVD, and RVD was supposed to be in that main event, and I really didn't think he was going to come out. RVD. Kofi Kingston fought Del Rio. Del Rio beat the shit out of him. He was in that 10-man tag as well. Oh, that 11-man match against the Shield. Kofi Kingston was beat down by Del Rio. And then you had the rest of the guys. You had Zack Ryder out there. You had the Usos. You had the Primetime Players. Those are guys that the Shield, a couple weeks ago, they beat all these teams. So, I really didn't see them as competition for the Shield. Then you had Ziggler there. But, it was something that I was scratching my head at. Why is Triple H stacking the odds against the Shield? And like I said, I thought it was going to be one of those corporate things where Triple H and Randy Orton and the rest of his guys and the rest of his goons pretty much take out all these guys and leave Daniel Bryan with no team at the end. But that wasn't the case here. In the main event, we seen the Shield looks like they were going on to get another victory, but in the end, Daniel Bryan stood tall. And I like that Daniel Bryan stood tall because it shows that there's a weakness in the Shield. The Shield may be with Triple H and they may have all the power in the world with Triple H behind them. But it shows that the Shield is beatable, which you need to have happen just sometimes. The Shield needs to look dominant most times, but it's nice that they had that little dent in the armor. You know what I'm saying? So Daniel Bryan stood tall in the end with 5 guys remaining. The Shield looked like they were going on to victory again, but Daniel Bryan stood tall in the end on Monday Night Raw and has some glimmer of hope. He's got some guys backing him in the locker room, and it shows that, it's not all against Daniel Bryan, that Daniel Bryan does stand a chance. And I like that Daniel Bryan 2 weeks in a row got the best of Randy Orton because we all know for a fact, and I know it's not the right decision at this point in time. Daniel Bryan's not going to be the WWE champion at Battleground. Randy Orton is going to be the WWE champion. I'm going with the reports here. I'm going with the reports that another match will take place at Hell in the Cell only 3 weeks after Battleground, and that's when Daniel Bryan's going to be the WWE champion. Because whatever's going to happen between now and Hell in the Cell, Hell in the Cell is the perfect way to end this feud. No interruptions, one-on-one, nobody interfering from the outside. You got Randy Orton, you got Daniel Bryan inside the cell. And then it leaves it open to, of course, we've seen and we know the history of the Hell in a Cell, that it's not the best way to keep people out, that people always find the way in. It gives you that little suspense. Like, how is Triple H going to have Randy Orton, or help Randy Orton here, even though he's locked inside, a Hell in a Cell? That's what I'm interested to see. But Daniel Bryan right now has some glimmer of hope, which is great. It's great for the storyline. And I didn't mind last night's episode where it was an 11-on-3 handicap match. I was like, you know what, this is going to be fucking stupid. You got 11 guys against 3. But they made the Shield look good, and then towards the end of the match, as the match was coming to a conclusion, obviously the Shield broke down, and Daniel Bryan was the one left standing, which I didn't mind. So the glimmer of hope that Daniel Bryan has right now is good. It's good for him going into Battleground because we all know Randy Orton is going to be the one coming out of Battleground, the WWE Champion. And then, again, we start all over going into Hell in a Cell. How is WWE going to continue this angle? So, last night, again, they did a great job. Now, the Cody Rhodes situation with Goldust, that was the best part of the night. Came out of nowhere. Goldust and Cody Rhodes, came out of the crowd, attacked the Shield before that match happened last night. So, obviously, they're going to play a role in the pay-per-view, just like I reported on News and Rumors. Goldust, Cody Rhodes, and possibly Dolph Ziggler. Maybe it's going to be Dusty, I don't know. I don't want to see Dusty Rhodes in the match. Dolph Ziggler makes more sense, okay? Because he had, he got into it with Dean Ambrose again last night. They're fighting on SmackDown for the United States title. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler this Friday. Ziggler makes more sense here. Rhodes, Goldust, and Ziggler versus the Shield at Battleground. Excellent match for that card. I can't wait to see that happen. Hopefully that's the direction WWE's going in. But it was great to see Cody Rhodes. And did you see the reaction Cody Rhodes got? Cody Rhodes is going to be a big star after this. I'm glad that they moved him on from Damien Sandow. Cody Rhodes is going to be a big star after this angle. People are wondering, where's Cody Rhodes? How are they going to bring Cody Rhodes back? Everyone's wondering, where's Rhodes? I want to see Rhodes on TV. All that anticipation to see how they're going to bring him back. He is going to be big. Goldust is as well. I wish Goldust would come back to the WWE. He is such an asset, such a great wrestler, But I'm glad to see that they finally introduced those guys as outsiders, coming in from the outside, attacking the Shield, getting thrown out of the building. Just that one little glimpse that I was actually laying down on my couch, and I'm like, oh shit, Goldust, Cody Rhodes, look at this. And then they escorted him out of the building. So now again, we're interested to see what's going to happen next. What is Triple H going to do next week in regards to Cody Rhodes and Goldust? A lot of intriguing angles going on with this storyline. A lot of moving parts. It's good. It's good television. So we got to see what happens with that. And then the Miz and Big Show, Miz TV. Stephanie McMahon came down to interfere in that. And the Miz, obviously, I don't know what they're doing with the Miz, but they're setting him up for something. So he didn't last long on Miz TV. Asking Big Show, why would you do that to Dusty Rhodes last week? Why would you punch a Hall of Famer, someone who was a father figure to you? And Big Show didn't say anything. Stephanie McMahon comes down and just tears the Miz down. That he peaked too early as a superstar. It's never good when a superstar peaks too early. When someone needs to do a promotion, we call the Miz. When someone needs to do a radio spot to promote Monday Night Raw, we call the Miz. When someone opens up a new supermarket down the street and we need some extra promotion, or if they want some extra promotion for the supermarket, we call the Miz. So you do have some value here, is what she said. She broke him down. She broke him down and tore him down. And then, obviously, in the end, she had Big Show just knock him out. And Big Show didn't even hesitate this week. So is he succumbing to all that Stephanie McMahon has been doing to him? Is he like, you know what? I'm just gonna go along with it. No questions asked. Why was he so quick? If you guys notice, why was he so quick to punch the Miz out? It's like he didn't even think about it. He didn't even question Stephanie. Why? Is there something there with that? So I don't know. I mean, it was a great segment. Stephanie played her role great. The Miz is playing his role great following the beatdown from Randy Orton last week. Now I'm intrigued on what's going on with the Miz. There's a lot of moving parts, like I said, to this angle. And it's all great TV. Other than that, really nothing else happened on the show. We had CM Punk come back to Chicago. Great moment with CM Punk. Great moment. Wearing Chicago's Blackhawks jersey. And Paul Heyman obviously interfered. And, the reports are saying CM Punk is hurt. He's got banged up knees. He's injured all over the place. He got nagging injuries. But the bumps he took last night from Ryback. Guy got fucking power slammed off the fucking the travel crates back there by the production guys. He fucking landed so bad through a table. So bad. I think he missed 90% of the table. And he landed he pretty much landed on concrete. I mean, CM Punk is taking a beating week in and week out. They gave him time off and they just have, Ryback destroy him this week. CM Punk got up on his own, but he was limping off. I don't know if he's actually hurt. I don't know. But CM Punk and Ryback is actually scheduled for Battleground now. We got to see what happens with that. They're going to be feuding. But like I said in my news and rumors, this is the end of the line for Ryback. if Ryback doesn't succeed with Paul Heyman under him, he will never succeed, and that's going to be it for Ryback trying to get to the top of the mountain in WWE. But that was a great segment between Punk, Heyman, and Ryback, and Axel was there. Heyman, of course, playing the fucking slick heel, comes down the scooter, pretending he's all injured, but when CM Punk, at the first glance, he sees CM Punk injured, he gets up from the scooter, starts jumping around, starts walking around and gloating all over the place. Paul Heyman's a fucking mastermind, man. He's gold. But that was a great angle last night. I mean, it was a good show last night, but there was a lot of bullshit. Kofi Kingston versus Del Rio was a great match. That opened up the show. Del Rio won there. Randy Orton versus RVD. That was a great match. We had the Wyatt family last night versus the Primetime Players. The Wyatt family won that match. Who else do we have last night? Fandango versus Santino Marella. That was even entertaining, even though I hate Marella. Fandango won there with the flying leg drop. And then we had the handicap match, which, like I said, Daniel Bryan ended up, celebrating in the end on Monday Night Raw. But that was it, guys. I mean, I would really love to go more in depth about what I think about this angle, but I'll wait till next week because, like I said, I'm a little bit pressed for time. So I hope you enjoyed this this review of the show last night and what I thought about the angle. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about the show. Let me know what you guys think about going into Battleground, where the angle is going. And like I said, if you're new here, subscribe, like, share, favorite. It definitely helps out my channel. I would love to get my wrestling content out there because I really do think my wrestling content on YouTube is best for business. All right, guys, I'm out. I will see you all later this week. I will probably be doing some vlogs with my camera phone down in Jersey, so you'll probably be seeing me all over the place. I got videos lined up all week. I got Kingdom Hearts. I got Black Ops 2 shit. I got a hate mail that I posted yesterday. I got Prestige Master number 39 coming tonight. Ton of stuff. I'm out, guys. I'll see you later this week. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.